What if I told you that the wholesome country music heroes of the 1940s were living double lives that would make today's tabloids blush? Behind the cowboy hats and sweet melodies were stories of murder, addiction, and scandals so shocking they nearly destroyed careers overnight. The 1940s represented country music's golden age of innocence, or so we thought. While America was fighting World War II and families gathered around radios for comfort, their beloved country stars were spiraling into darkness behind closed doors. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most devastating scandals that rocked Nashville's elite during this supposedly simpler time. Before we dive into these jaw-dropping revelations, hit that subscribe button, because stories like these are exactly what we uncover on this channel. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's start with the king of country music himself, Roy Acuff, whose squeaky clean image masked a ruthless business empire. While Acuff projected the persona of a humble Tennessee mountain boy, he was actually a calculating businessman who crushed smaller artists and manipulated contracts to his advantage. Behind the scenes, former bandmates accused him of stealing song credits and keeping royalties that rightfully belonged to other writers. His smoky mountain boys lived in constant fear of his explosive temper, with several musicians quitting after witnessing his violent outbursts during rehearsals. But Acuff's controversies pale in comparison to what happened with Spade Cooley, the self-proclaimed king of Western swing. In 1961, though his career peaked in the 40s, Cooley's dark past finally caught up with him when he was convicted of murdering his wife, Ella May, in one of country music's most brutal domestic violence cases. Throughout the 1940s, band members and industry insiders whispered about Cooley's violent tendencies and controlling behavior toward women, but his popularity kept these stories buried. The scandal that truly shattered country music's innocent facade involved Hank Williams, though his demons were already consuming him during the late 1940s. While his honky-tonk anthems made him a superstar, Williams was battling severe alcohol addiction and prescription drug dependency that started much earlier than most fans realized. By 1948, his drinking had become so problematic that he was frequently too intoxicated to perform, leading to canceled shows and angry promoters across the South. Williams' personal life was equally chaotic. His marriage to Audrey Shepard was marked by constant fighting, infidelity, and public humiliation. Audrey herself had her own scandalous past, having been married twice before meeting Hank, with rumors suggesting she had abandoned her first child to pursue her music career. Their toxic relationship fueled some of country music's greatest songs, but it also created a cycle of destruction that rippled through Nashville's tight-knit community. Meanwhile, Ernest Tubb, known as the Texas Troubadour, was hiding his own family secrets. Despite his reputation as a devoted family man, Tubb was involved in multiple extramarital affairs that nearly destroyed his marriage. His wife, Olene, discovered love letters from various women, including several prominent female country singers of the era. The most shocking revelation came when Tubbs' own band members revealed he had fathered children with at least 2 different women while on tour, abandoning these families without financial support. The scandal surrounding Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys reveals how even the most beloved band leaders could be tyrannical behind closed doors. Wills was notorious for his explosive anger and would physically assault band members who made mistakes during performances. Several musicians left the band with lasting injuries, and one former fiddle player claimed Wills once threatened him with a gun after a disagreement about song arrangements. These incidents were carefully covered up by Will's management team, who feared the truth would destroy his wholesome image. Perhaps the most heartbreaking fall from grace belonged to little Jimmy Dickens, whose diminutive stature and cheerful demeanor made him a fan favorite. However, industry insiders knew that Dickens struggled with severe depression and had multiple suicide attempts throughout the 1940s. His battles with mental health were complicated by his gambling addiction, which left him bankrupt despite his recording success. Dickens would often disappear for weeks at a time, leaving concerned fans and worried bandmates searching for him across Nashville's seedier establishments. The women of 1940s country music faced their own unique scandals. Kitty Wells, later known as the Queen of Country Music, had to overcome rumors about her supposedly illegitimate first child and accusations of adultery that nearly ended her career before it truly began. These whispers followed her throughout the decade, with some radio stations refusing to play her records based solely on moral concerns about her personal life. Rose Maddox of the Maddox brothers and Rose faced even more devastating accusations. The family band was rocked by allegations of incest between Rose and her brothers, rumors that originated from jealous competitors but gained traction due to the family's unconventional living arrangements and onstage chemistry. These false accusations haunted Rose for years and contributed to the eventual breakup of one of country music's most innovative acts. The industry's treatment of Patsy Montana reveals how female artists were particularly vulnerable to scandal. Despite being country music's first female million seller with I Want to Be a Cowboy's Sweetheart, Montana faced constant rumors about her sexuality and personal relationships. Male industry executives spread gossip about her romantic life as a way to control her career decisions, threatening to blacklist her if she didn't comply with their demands. Behind all these personal scandals was an industry rife with corruption and exploitation. Record executives routinely cheated artists out of royalties, with many 1940s country stars dying in poverty despite having created timeless classics. The infamous practice of payola was already taking hold, with radio programmers demanding bribes to play certain songs, creating an environment where artistic merit took a backseat to political maneuvering. Nashville's booking agents were particularly ruthless, often double-booking artists and keeping the extra profits for themselves. Many performers found themselves stranded in distant cities without pay, leading to bitter legal battles that destroyed longtime friendships and professional relationships. The most tragic cases involved elderly performers who lost their life savings trying to fight corrupt managers in court. The drug culture that would later devastate country music was already emerging in the 1940s. Benzodrine inhalers, marketed as cold medicine, became widely abused by performers looking for energy during grueling tour schedules. Several prominent artists became addicted to these early stimulants, leading to erratic behavior and health problems that were carefully hidden from the public. Perhaps most shocking of all was the racism that permeated country music's establishment. Despite country music's roots in African-American musical traditions, black performers were systematically excluded from the industry's most lucrative opportunities. When DeFord Bailey, the Grand Ole Opry's only black performer during this era, was eventually pushed out in 1941, it revealed the ugly prejudices that contradicted country music's supposedly inclusive working-class values. These scandals weren't just personal failings. They reflected a broader cultural hypocrisy where wholesome entertainment masked deeply troubled individuals and corrupt business practices. The 1940s country music scene was a powder keg of ambition, addiction, violence, and exploitation, all carefully hidden beneath a veneer of rural simplicity and moral righteousness. What makes these revelations even more striking is how successfully they were buried for decades. Without social media or aggressive tabloid journalism, these country stars could maintain their public personas while living completely different private lives. Their fans remained blissfully unaware of the darkness consuming their heroes, creating a disconnect between image and reality that would be impossible to maintain today. The legacy of these scandals shaped country music's evolution in profound ways. The industry's response to these crises established patterns of cover-ups and damage control that would influence how Nashville handled controversies for generations to come. Many of the business practices that exploited 1940s artists continued well into the modern era, creating systemic problems that persist today.